Hello, my name's Austin, and this is my student Hayden. And you have no violin experience whatsoever.
Nope, not really.
That's excellent. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to take the instrument out of the case. So, here's the case. This is a pretty simple part. You just open them up, make sure it's not upside down. The part of the case that's bigger always goes on the bottom.
Is that something that people always have trouble with? Because that seems kind of sad.
Sometimes. Alright, so now the case is open.
Do I take the bow out of the violin first?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So now I'm going to have you identify some parts of the violin. I have this cheat sheet. So I'm going to give you this cheat sheet, and eventually you'll be able to memorize these, and it'll be very easy. So,
this board strings, neck, nut, peg box, scroll.
What are these?
Oh, those are pegs.
Alright, what is this?
Oh, that's the scroll? No, it's the peg box.
Right. And what is this?
Baseboard? Or fingerboard?
Yes. And then...
Wait, is it neck or fingerboard?
This...
Because they're both... The fingerboard, neck?
Yes, this is the neck. This is the fingerboard. The fingerboard is where you put your fingers when you're actually playing. The neck is the back of the fingerboard.
Okay.
And then this is...
The body?
Yeah.
Ribs.
And strings, fine tuners, pegs, kind of tuned, but it has to be really out of tune in that case. The bridge, strings, the F holes, chin rest. Eventually we'll have our own shoulder rest here, but that's for later.
Okay.
Alright, so now I'm going to have you identify some of the string names. This is the G string, the lowest string.
Okay.
Then we go to the next highest string. The second string is the D string. Then the third highest string is the A string.
Okay.
Then the last one is E.
G, D, A, E. Gotcha.
Right. So, with that being said, let's get on with some playing. Alright. So, I'm going to teach you a couple of different positions. Sitting position and standing position.
Okay.
So, first we're going to do sitting position, but we're going to put on the chin rest first, or the shoulder rest, because you can't really do anything if it's not there. Alright, so with this in particular, we don't have an expensive one, we have a sponge. So how I do it is I put the rubber band underneath the chin rest, and then kind of around here.
Does it alter the sound at all?
No, it does not alter the sound. So I do it like this, to where it's easier for me to just lay it like that. And whenever you're playing, it's at an angle, kind of an angle to the right. And let's have you try it. So, sit up straight. Good posture is always the best.
Yeah.
Alright, here's the violin. Don't try anything yet. I'm going to have you put the violin onto your shoulder, and it will be your left shoulder. And you don't need to worry about anything with your left hand yet. Just make sure that it's there. Alright. So when you're playing violin, you should be able to just hold it there without your hands at all. Perfect. Now you can secure it again. And when you're playing, a big thing about playing a string instrument is being relaxed. So if there's a lot of tension in your left shoulder, you kind of want to just relieve that and make sure, but still make sure that the violin is secure. And wow, you're a natural. whenever you're playing, you want to make sure that you're playing in a position to where you're looking directly down
It's
the
helped by
frets.
the chin rest, though. It's more comfortable where it's at.
Yes. And your head will usually be kind of cocked to the side a little bit as well.
Okay. So like this, or like
this, like how you had it the first time. All right, and you're holding it at a good angle. So let's. Yeah, that was good. We're not going to worry about the left hand yet until we start actually playing some notes. All right, now hand me back the violin. Let's work on standing position. All right, so first we're going to start in guitar position because that's just a little easier. Just like you're playing a guitar, like Jimi Hendrix, except violin.
Yeah.
So, here's guitar position. Demonstrate. Alright, and I have a 3-step process to this, to getting it up in standing position.
Okay.
Out in front,
Okay.
upside down. Now, I did something wrong there.
Oh,
And
the right angle.
Now, I provided a lot of tension by holding it by the neck. What you want to do is
hold it by the body.
Your fingers, yes,
Okay.
next to the fretboard, and your thumb like this. So you've got it out like this, upside down.
Okay.
Right there. Here you go. Try it in all 3 steps.
Might work. There we go.
Yeah, looks pretty good. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and teach you some positions with your left hand this time. Yay. Alright, so hand me back the violin. We can go back to sitting down now instead of being in standing position the whole time.
Oh, I've been awake for 6 hours so far. No.
Come a little closer. Alright, so when you're playing, I'm going to have you demonstrate this on the A string because it's just the easiest.
Okay.
But when you're playing, you should be able to stick a pencil in between this.
Okay.
Some people call it the violin highway. I just say you should be able to stick a pencil in between there.
Okay.
And all your fingers should be on the A string. However, your index, your middle, and your ring fingers should be on these silver lines. These indicate notes.
Okay.
Right? So I'll have you demonstrate that. Alright, you've got a little bit of tension in your arm, so just kind of relax that. Remember the violin highway? There you go. Looking better already. I'll take the violin back. And now we're gonna work on pizzicato.
Okay.
The definition of pizzicatos is kind of like staccato, but for a string player, it's very short and not bowed. So a pizzicato
is where you just pluck it with your fingers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that is a pizzicato. I'm going to have you attempt to do a pizzicato, and this is how you're going to do it. So you're going to place your thumb under the corner of the fingerboard. You have relatively strong hands, so this shouldn't hurt as much as someone with really frail hands.
Okay.
So with all your fingers like this, I want you to pizzicato on the A string. And where you're going to pizzicato is actually in fretboard territory. Because if you do it like this, you get
flat
rosin on your hands.
Ah, okay.
And now I'm going to have you do pizzicato. Remember all your techniques?
Yeah.
Up, your thumb
Oh, right.
goes Very good. All right. So there were just a couple of things that I saw that may have been significant. You provided a lot of tension right there. Just be very relaxed.
Okay.
All right. So, do you have any questions so far, or are you pretty good?
I'm pretty good so far.
And what do you think of the lesson so far? You
That's
learning
cool.
a lot?
Yeah.
Okay. That is always good to hear. We're going to move on now. All right. So, I'm going to set the violin down. We're going to grab the bow out of the case. I'm going to teach you how to hold the bow. As you can see right now, it's kind of loosey-goosey. So, the parts of the bow, the actual bow itself, the pad, for obvious reasons, because it's a pad. This is called the frog, and this is called the eye of the frog, this white dot.
Okay.
That'll be significant later. And then the screw.
Okay.
You tighten the bow by turning the screw right, and you loosen it by turning the bow left.
Okay.
So we're going to tighten it, and you always want to make sure not to tighten it too tight.
Or it'll break it.
Or it'll break the hairs, and you have to go and buy a new one, and no one wants to go buy a new one. This, you want to make sure there's still a little bit of curvature in the bow itself.
Okay.
That's how you can tell if it's tight or not. Before we go into holding it, we need to apply some rosin. I wiped down everything before this. So normally
you apply the rosin before you start playing every time, or
no, you don't apply it before every time, because usually there's still rosin left on the strings in the bow. So you can take the end of the screw and kind of
scratch off the outer edge.
Yeah, provide a little bit of that good old rosin dust. And you always want to swipe like this. Do 4 swipes.
Okay.
Never touch the hairs. Grab, here, hold on. Grab it by this.
Okay.
And then there you go. Alright, so now that we're all rosined up, let's learn how to hold the bow. Alright, so with the violin, you kind of have to have some stability to it. And stability is somewhat difficult in the sense that holding a bow is pretty difficult to learn at first. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your ring finger and your middle finger and place them over the eye of the frog with your thumb in between the frog and the bow and the pad.
Okay.
So demonstrate that for me really quick. Oh, leave your index finger. Stick it up like this for a second.
Oh.
There you go. All right. So now your pinky goes right next to the screw.
Okay.
And then your index finger is
Just
kind of
goes
like
on the pad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before you do anything, you want to make sure that it's at a curve, so that when you go to play, you kind of get some resonance.
Okay.
No, not quite. So remember, you want these here, and then your pinky goes on top of the screw.
Okay, because you had held it back there.
And then...
Okay. There?
But here, bring your hand closer to me. Put your fingers there, there. Then your thumb will go there. Then your index finger will lay there. There you go.
Okay.
It's a lot better. Alright. Ooh, it's a sword. Alright, so always remember that when you're bowing, you always kind of want that tilt, because that'll help with stability. Also, when you're bowing, none of this moves.
Mm.
It's all elbow to fingers.
It's all form.
Because
it's not like that. It's like...
Yes, because in an instance, if you're doing this, it's so much easier to get proper balance and things.
Okay.
But if you're moving this, you're restricting it and you're getting kind of a nasty sound.
Okay.
So, we already applied rosin, but we're going to bow on the strings now.
Okay.
I'm going to have you, here in a second, I'm going to have you play on the A string. Then I'm going to have you play an A major scale, which is pretty easy.
Okay.
So, you remember which one the A string is?
Yeah, second from the bottom.
Yes. Alright, so I like to start close to the frog.
Close to the frog?
This is the frog.
No, I mean, what does that mean, though?
Okay.
Oh, okay, no,
so
never mind.
Starting close to the frog.
No, sorry, I forgot that it was a placement thing, too. Yeah.
Right, and you'll get more bow room. Alright, so, and you also always want to give the bow, you want to give enough room for it.
Mm.
Always even amounts of bow as well. You don't want to be like, So.
And I assume you want smooth movements? You don't want, like, small strokes, you want long, broad ones?
It depends on what style you're playing in. That's for a later day, though. Alright, so remember how we hold the violin?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the bow. Remember how we hold the bow?
Yep.
Good. Good posture is always good.
Does this work?
No.
No.
Remember?
Yeah.
Your thumb goes there, your fingers go there, then pinky, and then index finger. If you need to take your hands off the violin...
Yeah, I can do that. Like that?
Pinky goes on top of the screw, and these go closer to there.
Okay.
There you go. Alright.
Oh.
That's okay. Alright, so another thing is you always want to make sure you're going straight across there.
Here or here?
When you're playing on any string, this little area, you want to make sure you're like right in between the F holes the whole time.
Like?
Yes, you're a little closer to the bridge, but let's try it again. There you go. A little bit more movement than a little bit more of this sideways movement. That's just for moving your whole arm at the same time.
Okay.
So now we're going to play an A major scale. And you know what a scale is, right?
Kind of.
Alright, so a scale is a pattern of notes, a very popular pattern of notes. It goes, a major scale goes whole step, half step, whole step, half step. And what that's referring to is a chromatic scale. You'll go up this chromatic set of tones by either one tone. Why is it
known as chromatic? Why is it known as chromatic?
It's because the scale's in half steps. Alright, so let's try this. So these silver things here.
Alright, finger placement?
Yes.
So just first one, then first and second, or is it just second?
So open. Then you'll go to the E string. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
0, 1, 2, 3. Or 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And you're just going to do it ascending. Better. Remember, your thumb goes in between the frog.
I'm trying to get it to.
Pinky goes on top of the screw. Just move the pinky. There you go. All right. Remember your finger placement here as well. The tunnel.
Yeah.
All right. So open.
Where do I have it curved?
Your thumb. Right. Your thumb belongs there on that felt.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's part of why I've been having so much trouble. Okay. So I can do this.
It's okay. There you go. Yep. Alright, now move to the E string. Open on E string. Then 1 on E string. Alright, get the bow a little bit more down. Play 1 on the E string now.
Okay.
That's really loud. You're catching more of the A string. Make sure when you're playing on the E string, your bow is more up, perpendicular to the ground. Play 1, 2, 3 on the E string. There you go. And whenever you're playing these kinds of things, you don't always want to reset the bow every time.
Okay.
You want it to kind of... See, I played too close to the bridge. Not everyone's perfect, but that was pretty good. And I'll have you do it on pizzicato now.
Okay.
Pretty easy on pizzicato, really.
Yeah.
Just got to remember to keep the finger tunnel. And remember proper tunnel and proper pizzicato.
Oh.
Thumb. There you go. And see, as you progress along, this will become much more natural to you. Like I noticed you had a lot of tension here. Like that was very hard for me at the beginning, was keeping a good tunnel going and not having all this tension here. So, and the silver things are your friend.
Yeah, I was trying to place on them, but it's kind of
weird to look down the highway.
Well, distance is kind of a difficult thing.
So, with that being said, we're not done yet, but you did good so far. The stuff that you've done so far is very minuscule in terms of
overall learning of the violin.
Yes, you've done very good so far in terms of grasping onto what you need to learn. And this is stuff that you'll remind yourself about whenever.
Yeah.
And all right. So, with that being said, can you identify some parts for me?
Yeah, that's the it's the peg box. Ghost box for some pegs.
Okay.
That's the ribs. Wait, are these the ribs or is this the ribs?
These.
Okay.
This overall is the body.
Yeah.
This.
Bridge? No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, bridge. These.
Strings.
Yep. This.
Fretboard.
Yep.
Neck. F-holes. E-tuners.
Fine tuners.
Oh, it says E-tuner.
Oh. Well, they're fine tuners. These are
Pegs.
big boy tuners. These are
Yeah.
if you've only got a very minimal amount of tuning to do. So now let's do the same with the bow. This is
Body. Oh, pad.
alright.
Screw. Eye of the frog. Frog.
Yep. And these are
Ears. The
pretty good.
stock.
So with this lesson we learned how to properly play in standing or play in sitting position. Everything that we've done in sitting position is just translated over to standing position.
Yep.
And we've learned a lot so far. We learned how to do pizzicato. We learned how to bow on the strings. We learned how to take care of the instrument, how to grip it properly. And one quick thing while I'm going on is you don't need to apply rosin after every practice session or every gig or whatever.
Yeah.
Because there's still some left over.
How do you know when it's gone?
Rosin will provide friction for the bow, and when it seems to be kind of slippery or when you just can't see rosin anymore, that's a sign that you might want to reapply. Whenever you put your violin away, make sure to take your
neck piece thing.
Take your shoulder rest off.
Yeah.
And place it there. Place the shoulder rest in the case. Loosen the bow strings. You remember how to do that.
Yep. Left.
Yep. And you'll see the bow kind of compress down onto the strings.
Yeah.
And whenever you're playing, and a big thing for any player in general is no tension.
Yeah.
You had a lot of tension, but that can be resolved very easily. Congratulations on your first violin lesson.
Thank you.
I hope.
Thanks for teaching it.
No problem. I hope that was very influential for you, and maybe you'll continue on as a violinist. We never know. Do you have any questions for me?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Good job, sir.